Hi, my wonderful students. Today I will explain your final project. Open Google Classroom, My Classroom, click on Classwork, and you'll see something called the End of Year Reflection. Click on your End of Year Reflection. EOY means End of Year. The first slide you see is the calendar. This week is Monday, June 8th to Friday, June 12th. Your final project is 2 parts. Number 1, you have to finish a Google Slides presentation. Number 2, you will present your Google Slides presentation to your teachers and some of your classmates. You see that this week we will finish the end of year reflection on Google Slides. And next week, you will present on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday. Let me explain. Your first slide should be a screenshot of your yearbook page. I will give you your screenshot at the end of this week. What you really need to focus on is this slide and this slide. Let's look at this slide. Academic reflection. You have 4 options, but you only need to choose one option to answer. If you want, you can choose more than one. The next slide is your remote learning reflection. It's when you think about this time that you have been learning and we have been teaching without being together in class. You see there are 5 options. You only need to choose 1 or 2 options. Let me explain this slide, academic reflection. This is when you think about the activities you did in your classes, like Mrs. Basili's Technology, Miss Zabke's Math, Mr. U Humanities, Miss Rebecca ELA, and Mr. Rosenblum in your science class. You remember, choose 1 or 2. Option 1, an activity, project, or skill I liked doing this year was, here you think of one activity or project or skill that you liked doing this year, and you say, I liked it because. Option 2, one thing I have learned this year that I want to know more about is because. So was there something that you learned in Mr. U's class that you want to learn more about? Is there something in Mrs. Basili's class that we studied and you really want to learn more about? That is option 2. Option 3, at the beginning of the year, so when you arrived at Binka, I could not something. What is something that you could not do, but now you can? You complete this sentence, I learned this by, so how did you learn that new thing that you can do? Option 4, something I learned this year that I used or could use outside of school is, and for example, I can. So those are your 4 options. Again, choose 1 or 2. After you finish writing, you can add a picture that reflects your schoolwork. You could take a picture of a project that you did or an activity that you did, and you put the picture there. Let me explain number 4. Let me explain the remote learning reflection. Option 1, the most difficult things about online learning is or are. So think about your time from March 17th until the present. What has been difficult for you about learning online? In order to work online, I So how do you solve these problems? How do you do the difficult things? Option 2, something my teachers did that made it easier to learn online was, so be specific. What helped you while you were learning online? It helped me because, so you need to think why, how did this help you? I'm going to zoom in a little. Option 4, I think something that prevents students from doing online work is, so what is something that you think makes it difficult, prevents students from working online? Is it motivation? People don't feel like it? Is it that you have to go to work? Is it you want to sleep? Is it because you are scared, fear? Is it because your technology is insufficient? This is an obstacle because. Find the definition of the word obstacle. Obstacle means something in your way that prevents you from being successful. Ooh, Mrs. Basili, Yoza. Okay, I engaged in online learning because, so if you worked really, really hard to be online and to teach and to learn, tell us why. What helped you? What was good about the situation? Again, you add a picture that reflects your online learning work. So something that you did, maybe a picture of you in a Zoom class. And your last slide is, thank you for listening. You do not need to ask this question if you don't want to. So you can say, do you have any questions? Or you can delete this question and just say thank you. Up to you, your choice. Again, this week, you will complete this Google Slides. You can complete the Google Slides in Mrs. Basili's class and in Miss Rebecca's class. Number 3 and number 4, you will complete these slides by Friday. Next week, we will do presentations. Please ask me or any of your teachers for help if you have any questions.